Chubb splits out to the top of the screen. Quick throw and picked off. The deflection and intercepted by Highsmith. Touchdown. What a start for the Steelers.
First play of the game. Pick six, as the kids call them. Deflection from a receiver, a deflection from a defender to another defender for the pick six. The Steelers beat the Browns. Deshaun Watson is garbage. This is interesting to see a daily sports program. News Narratives Takes Gambling. I'm Nick. What's up? And yeah, Panthers Saints happened last night. I looked for a highlight from that one, and there were a number of defensive possibilities. Nope, not doing it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. The game was utter garbage. It was horrible. No, thank you. The big news from last night was not that Deshaun Watson shoved an official and got away with it, which he did, and we will talk about it. But it was Nick Chubb getting hurt. The injury was so bad, they didn't show the replay. I have watched enough football to see a number of times when they decided not to show the replay. I've watched football a number of times where they showed the replay once. And it's happened in other sports too. I've seen it in soccer and I've seen it in basketball where they don't show the replay because it's gross. Kevin Ware broke his femur and it was poking out of the skin one time. They didn't show that one, for example. I know what happened to Nick Chubb. I have a guess based on watching the replay of what actually happened to tell you, but I will, instead of that, I will show you, or I guess we could play what it sounded like in the stadium when they showed the replay. So the broadcast is zoomed in on the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. They're like, we're not going to show what's going on the field right now. We're just going to zoom in and talk about this while they get Nick Chubb out of here. And this is what it sounded like, because they showed the replay on the Jumbotron in the stadium, because the people in the Jumbotron, like they won't have had the replay in enough time. Maybe they would. They're like, oh yeah, just play it back and just do it. Like they're not like censoring things for people. Plus, I think there's an assumption of like an age thing, and gross injuries are not part of it. I don't know. They showed it in the stadium, so listen closely to what the crowd sounds like here.
I am told that the replay of Nick Chubb getting injured is not.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, we're not going to show it. It's as bad as you can imagine.
I am told.
All right, so we'll do it one more time. I want to make sure that I get it up here just for y'all. There it is. So here's what it looks like on the screen. So here we go. Listen to the crowd freak out.
The replay of Nick Chubb getting injured is not to be seen.
Yeah, did you hear them? No bueno. It ain't no bueno. So, yeah, that's bad. Nick Chubb had a very serious injury 2015. He tore MCL, PCL, had cartilage damage, came back and was, by most accounts, the overall number one running back in the NFL at running the football. Christian McCaffrey, yeah, I don't know. At playing the position in an offense, perhaps Christian McCaffrey and fantasy people, but like putting a running back in the backfield and giving them the football to run the football, Nick Chubb is kind of by far the best running back in the NFL. Saquon could be, but it's definitely Nick Chubb at this point in time, and it's a scary situation. It would appear very much like surgery is waiting for him at some point down the road. We've got Deshaun Watson shoving an official. He's got a number of personal fouls, people talking a lot of smack to him. So here is the shoving official thing if you want to watch it. Right here, he's like, get off me, man. Yeah, that should be an ejection, automatic ejection. It'll probably definitely be a fine, I would imagine. Here's him face masking someone. He just had a horrible game, just horrible. And everybody is just delighted. Just delighted at his falling apart. No one feels bad for him. It's pretty great. I am actively rooting against this person, or for their rehabilitation, which you didn't have to do. Deshaun Watson has a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, an unprecedented contract in NFL history. It created a bidding war for himself. Let's go through his stats. In week 1, 16 of 29 passing. 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 206 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He completed just over 50% of his passes last night. Last six starts last season, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's not back. He sucks. The difference between him and one of these rookie kind of guys is that there is a possibility that he will one day not suck, but for right now, he sucks. George Pickens had a night and ruined my fantasy game. Look at him.
Wide open Pickens.
Oh.
There he goes.
Oh.
Touchdown Steelers. Back on top.
Whew. Yeah, he's a good ball player. He's a good ball player. The New Orleans Saints hold on to beat the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young in and out. Really good defensive players in this game. Really terrible offensive players in this game. Jamal Williams appeared to get injured. And as a result of that, the game, I mean, he's not exactly an electrifying player. The Saints beat the Panthers by 3 at home. Carolina, they can't tank because they don't have any first-round picks. They should probably trade one of their good guys to get a first-round pick. It would be my guess. They have a couple that would warrant that. Derek Brown, Brian Burns. Shaq Thompson appeared to get hurt in this game for them as well. The Saints are 2-0, and you want to know a fun fact about all the shit-talking people did? There are a number of 2-0 teams in the NFL right now. In the NFC, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 teams that are undefeated. Of those 7, 3 are in what was widely considered to be the worst division in football, the NFC South. The Bucks, the Saints, and the Falcons. The Bucks, this is one of the most fun, stupid jokes. They're in first place in the NFC North. A hardy har. Get it? Because they're 2-0 against NFC North teams? No 2-0 teams in the NFC North. From a standing standpoint, the loser leaves town. You ever heard this loser leaves town game? Like, who's really screwed? Like the 0-2 overreaction. It's hard to make the playoffs at 0-2. It's hard. It's not impossible, and that was at 16 games. Now it's really not that big of a deal, to be frank. However, at 0-3, because of the extra game, it's still not that big of a thing. We just don't have enough sample size to see like how screwed people are. But there is only one game this week. Wait, are there any games with 0-2 teams? I don't think that there are. Saints, Texans, no. Wait. I'm looking at the Saints. Let's just go to NFL. I think that there's one game this week where 2 0-2 teams are playing one another. Yeah, I think there is. If I recall, it is the Vikings and the Chargers. Whoa. What a miserable game that'll be. My goodness. Ooh, you don't want that. Number of teams clinching playoff spots in baseball and winning the division, etc. Let's take a look at who did it. We'll just update you. The Baltimore Orioles have done it. They've won the AL East. Just hilarious. Good for them. I love that. Small market teams doing well is like one of the greatest things. They've clinched a playoff spot. Okay, so clinching the division. The Dodgers have clinched the division. The Atlanta Braves have clinched the division. And Tampa Bay and Baltimore have clinched playoff spots, still in a race for their division. Good for them. The cities of Toronto, New York, and Boston not clinching anything, but the cities of Tampa and Baltimore have clinched. Minnesota has not yet clinched their division. 7 games back is Cleveland. Let's just root for somebody's face falling off there. That would be hysterical. The Yankees are, I don't know, still technically in the wild card race. The Cubs, let's see. This is just for your education. Where are the Cubs? The Cubs are in the playoffs right now. They are tied with Cincinnati. Ooh, that'd be fun. Hard root for Cincinnati there. Miami could also make the playoffs. That's hilarious. The Yankees are 6 games back of a wild card spot. As it stands right now, Baltimore, Houston, Minnesota, Tampa, Toronto, Seattle, Texas, they're in. Atlanta, the Dodgers, Milwaukee, Philly, Arizona, Chicago. So just a bunch of teams going to the playoffs. Hey, let's check in with the Premier League. One of the big 6, there are 6 teams in the Premier League that matter a lot. I've heard them called the Big 6 before. Let's see if I can do it off memory. From memory. Manchester, right? That's 2 teams in Manchester, United and City. There's Liverpool. There's Tottenham Hotspur. There's Arsenal. And there's Chelsea. But Chelsea is where Christian Pulisic played, the American, and they won the Prem, I want to say 14, 15, somewhere in there, like about 10 years ago. Since then, they've been garbage. Here's a guy listening. Here's someone who's just shitting on his team. I love this.
Here is a list of things that have happened since Chelsea last beat a team in the top 15 in the Premier League.
For reference, there are 20 teams in the Premier League. So he's saying since the last time they won a ball game against someone who was in the top 15. The top 75%, not the top 25%. Okay.
That was against Tottenham Hotspur 594 days ago.
2 years.
89,100,000 people have died, one of them being the Queen.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
2,376,000,000,000 poos have left the human bodies worldwide.
Love this. This is awesome.
Over 200 rockets have entered space. 194,832 million people lost their virginity. Well played, lads. I wasn't one of them. 4 gentlemen, individual gentlemen, have managed Chelsea Football Club.
4 different coaches.
57.3 million Great British pounds have been spent on players.
$857 million have been spent on their roster in the last 2 years.
By Chelsea Football Club. 230 million babies have been born. And 80 million men went bald.
I love this guy. What a hero. They suck, but maybe they'll unsuck one of these days. I'm not 100% sure. Do you know, we were covering pretty exclusively breaking news that Iowa doesn't score points on offense as a college football team. Big college football weekend this weekend, by the way. Biggest weekend of the year. I'm super excited. I do think this is the biggest weekend of the year for college football. This is so... They don't score any points, Iowa football. They don't score any points. So the offensive coordinator, who's the head coach's son, legendary head coach's son, has it in his contract he has to score 25 points per game. So far this season, 24 points against Utah State, 20 points against Iowa State, 41 points against Western Michigan. We are starting Big Ten play this weekend. This is what he thinks about his contract mandate. This is so funny. I literally can't.
You all have had fun with this 25-point obsession, and I get it. I do. But if I'm not mistaken, we just dropped 41 on Saturday. So
Against Western Michigan.
maybe it's time to grab a hold of your little step ladders and go ahead and climb out of my ass for a while.
That's the greatest shit talk a coach has ever had at a press conference. You still suck at offense, but that was hilarious. All right. Controversial Wednesday. Whew, I don't know. Have some options. Nothing super crazy, but some fun stuff. Maybe do a couple things. Mike Babcock resigned thanks to our last controversial Wednesday. It wasn't Spit and Chicklets. It was this podcast and you listeners that made it possible.